Interested in buying a new knife or EDC gear? Click the first link in the description down below. Thanks! What is going on YouTube? But Great Blades here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Prince Customs Protean. Let's start with a measurement on the overall length here. So overall length, looking at about 7.1 inches here, with a we've got 3.4 inches of blade with just over about 3 inches of actual cutting edge there. Oops. Measure the blade stock thickness. Blade stock thickness on the Protean here coming in about 160 thousandths maybe. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, about 150 thousandths. And then we will measure the weight here. Weight on the Protean looking at 3.3 ounces, so not too bad in terms of weight here. And then we'll do a size comparison with the Demco 80-20.5 with original goat scales. I will link them down below. And then also the QSP Penguin. So we are at a bit of an angle here, but it is just a little bit longer than the QSP Penguin, and it is smaller than the 80-20.5 here. So it's going to be kind of a mid-size knife. It's not truly a full-size knife, about 7.5 or 8 inches in total length, but it's not quite a small knife either. So I'd say it's somewhere in the middle. It's not that bad. Do a comparison on the thickness and carry profile here. So compared to the 80-20.5, it is just a little bit thinner than the 80-20.5, and then compared to the QSP Penguin, it is going to be just a little bit thicker. So again, it is kind of very middle ground in terms of blade size, or knife size, overall knife size. And then in terms of thickness, kind of in the height here, it is going to be smaller, even at its widest point there, than the 80-20.5. And compared to the QSP Penguin, it's going to be about the same overall at the sort of widest point. So it's not going to be a difficult knife to carry in your pocket. It's not heavy, it's not particularly large in any dimension, so it's not going to be an issue. So this is a custom knife, so it's made by Princeton Wong, I believe is his name. I'm going to double check that. But he's a knife maker, and he does all the work himself in his garage, I believe. So these are pretty small batch drops that he does when he does release them. They're usually just, probably 20 or 50 at a time at most. But he does all the work himself in his garage. It is kind of a mixture of machine and hand making some things, but I believe most of the machine, CNC and stuff like that. But it is just made by him, and this one is the Protean. It is a titanium frame lock. This one has this sort of yellow anodized almost bronzy honeycomb texture on it with this sort of blasted blade here. It is 20 CV. Does it say anywhere on the actual knife? 20 CV. I was told this was 20 CV. So this was loaned to me by a friend, if you guys remember, if you guys saw the unboxing. It said 20 CV, but if we look, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. If you look, it says MC on there, so I might think this is actually Magna Cut, this particular one, which is interesting. So I'm not 100% sure, so it might be 20 CV or it might be Magna Cut. I'm going to have to see if I can double check that somehow. I'll have to message my friend who linked these to me. But anyways, okay. Clip point blade, I would say, in terms of the actual blade style here, and it is a hollow grind on here, so it does come down to a pretty reasonably thin point behind the edge here. Like I said, this is made just by one guy in his garage, and it's made in Texas, so it is USA made. Which is cool. It also features a, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it off, but on the inside here, they have like a flattened detent, sort of like a nub almost. So it's kind of similar in terms of action-wise, you know, like Sharp by Design, Holt, Grimsmo, Usler. I'm still not sure if I'm saying that right. He also uses kind of the same sort of thing. So it's got a very particular feel to the action. It's just very crispy. I don't know if you can, you're not going to be able to, you know, feel it through the screen here, but it just has a very particular sort of crispness in the way that it breaks away from the detent there. And it just feels nice. It feels good in your hand, and it makes a nice sound. I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but it is making a sort of tinging noise when it's doing that. Let me see if it can pick it up here. I'll just hold it closer. But, yeah, it's very nice. It's very well made. It's comfortable in the hand. You know, there's no hot spots. You know, the clip there does not bother you at all. I honestly can't even feel it. There is a small choil here. I would say it's probably more like a sharpening choil, but it is big enough that I can get a little bit of my finger behind there. So if I did want to use it as a finger choil, I guess I could. There is jimping on the top portion here, and it is nice and grippy, so you are not going to, you know, slide off of that, which is nice. The clip is also titanium, and in the unboxing I noticed that the clip is, you know, like a little bit loose here, and I talked to my friend who sent him to me, and he said he does that on purpose to all of his knives, just to bend the clip out just a little bit. That way it's just a little easier to go in and out of your pocket, because not always the case, but sometimes, especially with titanium clips, they're a little bit more rigid. So sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult to get them in and out of your pocket. So he did that on purpose. So it doesn't normally come that way. That's just how he likes to do it. So that's just his in particular, which is fine. I mean, I just was confused at first. I was like, whoa. But yeah, it's just him. He just bent it out a little bit. What was I saying here? The clip is titanium. I believe the hardware is also titanium. I really should invest in getting like a magnet or something. I mean, I have... Yeah, so it's titanium on the hardware, except for where the... Why did my brain just stop working? Where the the insert is. That's a steel insert, and the backspacer is also titanium. Also this sort of blasted, you know, gray color here. Nice stonewash color. The inside is, I don't know if you're going to be able to pick it up, but the inside is, kind of see it. The inside is milled out for weight reduction there. So it is a little bit lighter, which is nice. Also, you're not going to be able to see this, but you can kind of see it. On the inside here, it actually says, oops, sorry, I keep bumping you. On the inside, there's some laser engraved text on here. It just says the birth date, the serial number, and the model number at the very top, like right there. And then over here it says, what does it say? Prince Customs. Yeah, so it's got the company name, the model, and the serial and birth date information laser engraved on the inside there, which is nice. They are serialized numbers. This one is number 164 with a birth date of October 24. So last October. And yeah, there's also, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Probably not. But it is nicely rounded and chamfered, so there's no hot spots around the actual frame of the knife either. Everything's nice and knocked down, so it's comfortable in your hand. The top portion here, where it meets the top of the blade, is actually sort of radiused and, you know, like crowned almost, so it's real rounded. But everything else is nice and smooth and flat, so there's no hot spots there, which is nice. It's also kind of got this almost chamfered, like stepped kind of look around the patterned honeycomb texture on the inside of the blade here, which I think just aesthetically makes it look nicer. I mean, he obviously probably could have very easily made it just flat scales and just done all of the texturing on the titanium here. But he went the extra step and kind of offset it a little bit, which, like I said, it doesn't functionally do a whole lot. I mean, maybe it adds a little bit in terms of comfort and like just kind of ergonomics, but he could have made it a flat scale and it would have been no issue. But you know, he went the extra step there and, you know, made it look nice, which is appreciated always. For me, this is, you know, even not choking all the way up, this is still a full 4-finger grip knife with room on both sides. So if I did want to choke up, and even if I wanted to slide back a little bit more, I could. But I also realized that I have small hands, and so this is not going to be the knife for everybody. It is definitely, it's a mid-sized knife, but it's on the smaller side, so I do understand that for some people this is just not going to be feasible to really get a hold on this thing. But it is comfortable, at least to me, like I said. The clip is only right-hand tip-up carry, which is fine, but it's not reversible carry, so sorry lefties. Once again, you have to carry the knife right-handed and use it right-handed, or just be in a little bit of an awkward spot. It is also knocked down, sort of scalloped on the inside here to disengage the lock, which is nice. It makes it easier to get your thumb in there and disengage it, which is nice. Not every knife maker and not every knife company does that, which, you know, it's always nice when a company does, or a maker does, because it just shows that they're paying a little bit extra attention to detail there. Granted, you don't need it every time for every knife. Sometimes the design by itself is just fine, you know, so you don't really need that. And I'm sure this one probably would have been fine too, but it's there, and it's useful, and it's nice. So I appreciate that. This is just a sort of slot flicker. There's no thumb studs, there's no flipper. I mean, maybe you could top flip it, but it's got a really, really chunky detent in terms of strength, which I I like. But because of that, at least for me personally, and my weak little baby hands, I cannot front flip this. If you can, bless, but I cannot. It is not for me. But you can reverse flick it very easily. Action's great. Runs on bearings, caged ceramic bearings, I want to say. And you can also forward flick it. It's a little bit more difficult just because of the sort of angle you have to do. It's not quite a, you know, just straight out to the side. It's a little bit kind of up and to like the left here. Let's see if I can get it. You just got to get it just right. There you go. But yeah, this knife is really solid. I had heard of the Protean previously before, and just the way it is, they are small batch and they're not inexpensive. It kind of depends on the variant you're going for. You know, materials, finish, things like that, you know, are going to obviously change the price. You know, if it's a Damascus or, you know, some sort of Damas steel or something, blade, that's going to change it. If it's, you know, zirconia, like different zerblast finishes, or if it's a different material, it's going to change the price a little bit. But I think they start kind of right around the $740-ish range, which is not inexpensive. Definitely not, especially for a knife. But I obviously understand the price, being that it's, like I said, I believe it's literally just the one guy who runs the company, like, to actually make the knives, and then I think his wife sometimes helps him out as well, you know, for things like that. But I know she goes to the shows with him. I've seen pictures on his Instagram. But it's pretty much just him running things. So it's just one person. It is USA made, so I understand that cost of things is going to be more expensive. And it's kind of like the mid-tech, I guess, you know, or I don't know. They call it custom, but I don't know. It's still in the upper tier of a knife. It's not a production knife. You know, he makes them small batch by himself a little bit at a time, so it is going to be more expensive to do, which is fine. It's just not in my personal budget to spend, you know, $800+ on one knife all the time. That is just not for me currently. Maybe one day, but luckily I have friends here in this community which will lend me their knives to check out. So thank you, Durning, for sending this out and letting me check it out. Pretty solid knife, I'd say. I think that's going to be pretty much it, though. Let me know what you guys think down below. You know, what do you think of Protean knife? The Protean, like I said, this is the Prince Customs, is the brand Protean. What do you think about it? Have you heard about them? Do you have one? Let me know what you think, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because I'll be posting more videos here. And that's going to be pretty much it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.